As France's new Prime Minister Sebastien Lecornu takes office, he faces a baptism of fire. Transport, education and other services across France are experiencing disruptions from protests led by leftist collective Block Everything. The full extent of the protesters' actions is unclear, but authorities are concerned enough to deploy some 80,000 police across the country. Police say they are keeping a close eye on points of vital importance, such as oil refineries. Let's go straight over to Paris, where Lisa Louis is standing by for us. Lisa, nationwide protests have begun across France. What are they about? Bring us up to speed on the latest developments.
Well, these people are saying they're asking for social justice. You know, that the spark that ignited the fire really was the announcement of François Bayrou, now ex-Prime Minister to be, his budget. He was voted out this Monday out of government in Parliament. But the measures he had proposed in mid-July, such as, axing 2 public holidays and also not further taxing the rich, possibly people having to pay more for healthcare, that really angered a lot of people here in France. They were saying they're always taking from those who don't have much money and, just letting alone the rich. And we don't want that. So that, that grassroots movement that was launched a few months back then really gained traction. And from the beginning, they were aiming for the 10th of September. Now they've turned out what, for now, doesn't seem massively, but we will see what the day brings. Really, there are actions, manifestations, blockades across the country. As you said, 80,000 police deployed with intelligence services expecting about 100,000 participants. These are only estimates, but it's a clear indication if the government deploys so many police forces that they are quite anxious about this movement. The authorities just announced that they arrested about 200 people so far.
And of course, I mentioned this new PM being appointed. Is that going to have any effect on the protests movement?
Sebastien Lecornu has until now been the defense minister, and he is known to be a close ally of Macron's. Now, people were expecting, were hoping for Emmanuel Macron to finally announce a left-wing prime minister, probably from the Socialist Party. That's at least what many of these protesters say were hoping for. We know that according to at least one poll, that many of the protesters today are from, the left or the far left. Sebastien Lecornu is not left-wing. He's likely to try to find alliances with the centrist bloc. That would also include the Socialist Party. But many protesters might feel that that's not really what they were hoping for. That might ignite, their anger further, put fuel on the fire. And certainly many people will not be happy with that. We will see if the protest movement today will continue over the coming days. There is another strike day coming up next week, on Thursday next week, the 18th of September. Everybody here is looking ahead to that. That's a strike and that's been organized by all the national unions. And we will see if today's movement will actually continue and build some kind of bridge until next Thursday. That's certainly what the authorities will be watching.
Lisa, talking about building bridges, I mean, it doesn't sound like, according to these developments, that the political problems of France or the economic ones are being tackled.
Well, Emmanuel Macron seems to think that there is still a way, that he can nominate this new prime minister, his close ally, and that ally will find some kind of compromise. But you're right to say it's a very tricky situation. The French parliament is in a deadlock, really. You've got 3 more or less similar large blocks, none of which has a majority. That's the case since snap parliamentary elections last year. And ever since, it's been a struggle to find some kind of compromise. So it's very difficult to see a way out of the crisis, even if the president seems to be confident.
Lisa Louis in Paris, thanks for the analysis.